Today we continue with SQL class. So last class we were able to touch DDL and DML commands. So DDL, we discussed create, truncate, alter, then what else? Another one, create, alter, truncate, then rename. That is under DDL. Okay. So, but for DML, we discussed inserting record to the table, then delete, update. Okay, so that is DML. So then we touch a little about DQL, that is data query language, select. But we have a lot of things to touch, to explain under DQL, which is data query language. So using select, because select has a lot of attributes like where, group by, order by, like, and some other attributes that we need to touch under select query language, select commands. So we are going to use this notes for today's class. So it is well explanatory. So I start with our database. I believe every one of us we understand what we call a database. So it is an organized collection of data so that it can be easily accessed. So database is a collection of data. Okay, so that is a database. When you have your data, it can be in a structured way or unstructured way. So we have a different kind of database. Okay, so we have structured, we have semi-structured, and we have unstructured. Okay, so to manage, okay, that data, say structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. But when we are referring to database, we use relational database and non-relational database. So, but for structured database, structured data, so it's a kind of data that are in form of row and column. Okay, so that is a structured database, the structured data. But semi-structured is example of semi-structured is using XML or JSON data. So that is semi-structured. So by using a key to identify individual data. So while unstructured is example of unstructured is images, videos, audios. Okay, so they are unstructured. Now, this is types of database, DBMS, database management system, relational and non-relational. So relational database when you stored your data in the table format, that is in row and columns. So that is what a relational database. So an example of relational database, MySQL, Oracle. Okay, so we have some other relational database. So these two are common ones. Okay, another one is SQL Server. Have you heard of SQL Server? So it is owned by Microsoft. So we call it SQL Server. Okay, so it's an example of relational database. But for a non-relational database, so it is stored in key value pair. Okay, so you will use key value. So this row number is a key. So this is the value 1. Okay, this is another key. This is the value. So if I want to refer to this value, so you will use the key. So this is how non-relational database look like. Okay, so this is relational database. So we use this one for semi-structured database. Why this one is structured database? So structured data. Now, so this is the database. Then we use a SQL command to interact with your database. To display it on the GUI, graphical user interface. Okay, so SQL stands for structured query language. Although we have done all this last class, then we have done create command to create a table. Okay, so this has been done. Okay, so you can use create to create a table or to create a database, right? So then another command is insert command. So insert command is used to insert data into tables. So by using insert into table name, then you specify the column name, then the values that you want to insert into that column. So this has been touched in the last class. Okay, so what we really concerned about today is SQL select command. Select. So this select command has a lot of attributes that you need to understand. So as a data analyst or data scientist, so you will work with select command a lot. So you use different attributes in select command. So now we use select command to extract data from a table. So you can also use it to clean your data, okay, by using some special attributes. So we are going to do that maybe by next class, data cleaning. So this is it. So data cleaning. So using SQL for data cleaning. So all these remove duplicates and the missing values. So you can use SQL to clean your data. So apart from using Microsoft Excel for data cleaning, you can also use SQL to clean the data. Then you can now export the cleaned data set. So we export it from the database to use for the analysis. Okay, so but you need to understand all these commands before you can use SQL command for data cleaning. Now, okay, so what we need here is select. So select starts from select command. Okay, then if I want to select all the data in your table, so you will use select we use select command. So now let's open the exam. Let's open the exam so to practicalize this. Exam panel. So we are going to pick each attribute one by one in the select command. So if you use ordinary select, if you have select asterisk from a table, so it will select all. But if you want to select data based on condition, okay, you want to extract part of the data, it means you will need more attributes you select. But the basic one is to use select asterisk from a table. Now, localhost. So I will need to change let me share the database. Okay, now we have it. We have a database before, so that is data analytics, right? My records. We have records that we have two records. Okay, now we can still add more to the data to the table. Okay, let's add uh, let's add more. Let's use insert. So ID will be what? Empty. Okay, so values Adesola, Adesola, then um Adewale, okay, then gender male, okay, so then age 25, then user type student, okay, and level 100, right? So okay, so that is how to insert. So just click go. So one record has been inserted. So when we have this, okay, so when we have this, so we can use a select query. You can use select query. Can you see the default one is a select asterisk from my records, okay? So when you have this, okay, so this is the basic one to select all from my record. Okay, so when you click on go, so you have all, so to display all. Then apart from this, you can also specify the column you want to display. So if you don't want to display all, okay, we don't need ID. Okay, so just double click the surname, comma, other name, okay. Then we need gender column. Then so we stop at age, okay. Even so, if we specify just 4 columns, so when you click on go, so can you see just have 4 columns. So others were not included because okay, okay, maybe when we inserted the mail, so we forgot to remove this bracket. So that is select, how to select now. Then so that is the basic one, okay. But now if you want to use other attributes like where, okay, so that is, you know, the default one is to have select asterisk from a table. Then you can now use all these attributes are based on what I want to achieve. Okay, so the first one is where we use where commands, where attributes are to filter records are based on what? Based on the given condition. So now if we want to extract some data, some records are based on condition. So we use what? Where. Okay. You can say where age greater than 20. Okay. So that means what we need is under 20 records. Okay. Students with under age of 20. Okay. So when you click go, Okay. Do we specify greater than or less than? Okay, let's check. Where age less than 20. Okay. So click on go. We don't have any students under the age of 20. Okay. So if okay, let's say I want to see those with less than or equals to 25. Okay, less than or equals to 25. So you have this where age less than or equals to what? 25. Okay, so when click go, so we have just two records. So the one with age of 30 was excluded. So now, so that is how to use where. So you will use condition with where. That is where age greater than or where age less than. Okay, so let's move on. Then this join, so you can only use join for two tables, two or more tables. Okay, so we use join to combine data from tables based on what? Based on a common fit. So if I want to use a join, okay, let me see. I don't know. So if I want to use a join command, so if I want to use a join command, so you must have two tables, okay, two or more tables, and each table must have a particular column with the same value. Okay, so for example, if you have ID on in one table, the second table must contain the values you have in that ID, in that first table. For example, you want to join customer table and sales table. Okay, you want to join them. So there must be a customer ID in what? In sales table. Are you getting it? So before you can join both together, so there must be a customer ID. You have ID in customer table. So there must be what? Another column that you will call customer ID. Okay. So it's going to reference the ID in what? In customer table. So the ID you have in customer table, you will call it what? Primary key. Okay, so why the customer ID that you have in sales table, we call it foreign key. So foreign key will reference what? Primary key in what? In customer table. So and both must be the same. That is the value you have in in the ID for customer table must be the same for the ID you have in what? In sales, the customer ID. Since we have its own ID, so that ID, the first column ID, you are going to have it for sales. Then there will be another column called customer ID. So it's going to capture all the ID that you have in customer table. So that is where you can join both together. Okay, so we are going to discuss it extensively when we read different kind of join. Because we have left join, right join, inner join, outer join. Okay, so we explain it better when we reach that aspect. So next one is group by. So we use our group by to it is used to group our records based on what? Based on requirements. Okay, so you can group our records based on requirement. For example, if you have a table that contains a level, okay, so and it also contains names, so you can group the names, okay, based on level, okay. apart from that, if you have a table that contains products, okay, you can group products based on category. Okay, for example, now let's check this. Okay, although I don't know if the cited examples, but now let's check for group by. Okay. Mm. So group by now. So here now, if I want to select this, okay, based on user type, it has if I want to extract records, I group by user type. Okay, so let's see. Um, so go to the SQL command. So select asterisk from my records. Okay, you don't need where, so group by user type. Okay, so group by user type. So when you click go, so it is just like selecting distinct values. Okay, so it's going to group by, what we have here is we have 3 records in that table. So for that 3 records, so we have just one admin, then 2 students, right? So it's going to group by user type. So any if we have repeated values, it's going to pick the first one. Are you getting that? Another way we can use group by is if I want to if you want to use, okay, let me pick so now, so another way to use group by is if you want to display a class. Okay, so if you want to display class, we use it in our application. Maybe if you are creating web application, for example, and I want to use a selection box, gender. Okay, so but you want to extract those agenda from what? From the database. If you are extracting it from the student records, we have a different gender. So if you select gender from the table, so we are going to have different values: male, 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 female, female, female. So it's going to display it based on the number of students we have in that table. So you can now use group by to specify just one values that is going to pick the first values that appear in that table. That okay, you are there is male. Okay, the all other male will be what will be excluded. Okay, so we have female, so you're going to pick the first female and exclude all other females that are student record. So that is way of using group by. Okay, then you can also use group by to calculate maybe a sum of amount or average. For example, if we have for this one now, okay, we can find the sum of age, okay, based on our user type. Okay, we want to know the total age of students we have in this table. You know, we have 2 students, so it's going to sum them. So using group by, so you have select a surname, okay, other names, comma, okay, sum, okay, into bracket, age, okay, as total age, as total age, okay. So from table, so group by user type, okay. Select surname, other names, some age, okay, as what? Total age from my records to group by what? User type. Click on go. Can you see? So Henry, okay. So this 55 is what? This is total age. So it's going to add all the students and the age of all the students in that table. So because we use group by, do you get that? So that is another way of using group by. So if I want to find the, for example, if it is sales table, okay, and you want to find the total sales of a particular product based on category, okay, maybe uh Samsung phone, okay. So you want to know the total sales for Samsung. You want to know the total sales for Infinix. Infinix. You want to know the total sales for Tecno. You know, we have a category column in that table. Okay. So what you just need to do is to say sum into bracket amount. So group by category. So it's going to pick one category. Okay. For example, okay, should we do that? You got it. So like if we have a sales table, for example, we have this. So I want to create table name. Let's say sales table. Sales record. So just for, let's just create 4 columns. ID, okay. So ID, so followed by categories, product name, then amount. Okay. So you have category, paragraph, so maybe 30, product name, paragraph 50, amount. You have decimal 10,2. So 10,2 is 10 digits, then 2 decimal places. Okay, so when you have this, so this is primary key. then auto increment. So save.
If you don't put the auto increment, no more.
What?
Auto increment, you don't tick it.
And if you don't take it, so if you are trying to enter the record, so it will assign 0 for ID. So instead of your value to be increased as you are entering the record, so it is going to assign 0 for that ID. So you have 0, 0, 0, 0 for ID. Understand? So that is purpose of selecting auto increment. So if we have this, then we need to insert records to, let's use manual. Okay, so category, techno, so techno pop 3, so amount of 50,000, Infinix, so Infinix Hot 10, okay. Huh? Amount, let's say 55,000, okay. So insert, then I want to insert more. So category, techno, what other techno we have? Techno, let's say techno smart 1, so 60,000, Infinix, Infinix Hot 3, 45,000, okay. So we have 4 records, okay. So we have Samsung, okay. Samsung Galaxy 2, let's say 125, and iPhone what? iPhone 14, how much? Let's say 250,000. So if we have this, okay, so we want to know the total sales for each phone, for each category, okay. So what you just need to do is to write as a query, select asterisk from sales, okay. Now instead of using asterisk, so let's say category, okay. Then we need the amount, so it's going to be sum amount, okay, sorry, so sum amount, okay, sum amount as total amount, comma. You can also have count, okay, count, product name, okay, as number of products, as number of products. Okay, from 6 record. Are you getting it? So group by category. Group by category. So let's go. There should be a comma. Okay, here. So yeah. So Infinix, so the total amount for Infinix is 130. So we have 2 products there. Okay, so we have 2 Infinix products. So iPhone 250, just 1 product. Samsung 125, we have 1 product. Tecno, so the total amount is what? 110. So we have 2 products. So that is how to use Kuba. So summary. So we use it for summary of the records. That's to know the total number of products you have for individual category. Are you getting? So then the amount, total amount for each category. Okay, so that is how to use Agoba. You can also use it in another way. So it depends on what I want to achieve. So, but it is used to group a set of records based on a column. Are you getting it? So it's going to group them as they are related. Are you getting it? So like now, so it's going to, since we used a category, so it's going to check for the product name. So where all those one with the same category, so to group them into one, group them, group together. So that is how to use a group by. Okay, so the next one is having. So it is also used to filter groups. Okay, so if a particular you can extract a particular records or maybe a set of records if they contain a particular file. So we can say having this particular file. So it's going to look for that record that contain that file. Okay, so and it's displayed. So we use this one when we reach okay, when okay, or we can maybe having 25. So we can select based on age. Okay, so we use it next class when we are going to discuss join. Okay, so but for order by, so we use order by to sort. So either in ascending order or descending order. Okay, so let's see this reasons order by. No, we have used group by. Okay, so now if we want to sort this one, okay, if we want to sort it by product name, okay, or we want to sort it by amount, no, so maybe in ascending order or descending order, because what we have now for the amount, so they are in random order, not in specific order. Okay, so if we want to sort these records based on amount, so you have this select asterisk from sales records. Okay, so you don't need where, order by amount. So if you don't specify the maybe the sorting order, maybe ascending or descending, so the default is ascending. Are you getting it? So the default is what? Ascending. So let's see now. Order by amount. So if you click on go, so can you see that 45, 50, 60, 85, 125, 250. So the default is what? Ascending. So, but if you want to sort it in descending order, you have to specify it. Okay. So we have select asterisk from sales record, order by amount. Okay. So descend. So, but if you want to use ascend, ASC, that is ascending order. So it is, if you want to arrange it in descending order, that will be descend. Okay. So if you click on go, can you see 250, 125? So it's going to arrange it based on amount in descending order. So if it depends on the column you specify, if it is product name, so it will arrange it in alphabetical order. So if you use ascend, so that means you start from A to Z. So if it is descending, that is Z to A. Do you get that? So that is that on order by. Okay. So the next one is limit. So we use limit to specify how many rows are returned. So number of rows that you want to return. So for example, if you want to select a top 10 products. Okay. So top 10 products. So that means maybe based on price. Are you getting it? So based on price. So to do that, so that means you have to specify the number of limits. So since it is top 10, so it's going to be limit what? Limit 10. But now if you want to select most price, most three expensive products, okay, in this table, most three expensive products. So we have this. Select asterisk from sales record. So I can give you as an assignment, write a query for this table to select this. Okay. So you will now think of which command to use. Is it order by? Is it do by? Okay. So select asterisk from sales record. Okay. Order by. Order by amount. Okay. Descend. Limit 3. Do you get that? So it's going to display most expensive, three expensive products. So let's click go. iPhone, Samsung, and Infinix Hot 10. Okay, so that is that on limit. So if it is ascending, okay, most cheapest product. Okay, so that means we use what? Ascend. So limit. So if it is 3, so if it is 5, limit 5. So is that clear? So okay, so let's pick another one now. So this constraint. So we normally use constraints when I want to create a table. Okay, so if I want to create a table, so you will use constraint for your feed. Okay, so if you want that particular feed to be checked, so you will add check to the query. That is, create a table. Specify the name of the table, then the column. So, the other column we have attributes. So maybe factor into bracket 20. Then if I want that column, maybe surname, for example, if I want it to be checked, so that means after the factor space, then you now add check. Not null, if I don't want that column to be null, to be empty. So not to allow empty value. Are you getting it? So that means you will use constraint of not null for it. So if I want it to be unique, not to allow repeated value. Okay, so that means that column. So for example, if it is matrix number, so you can use unique as a unique constraint for that matrix number column, so that it won't allow repeated values, same value. Okay, then primary key, we normally use primary key for ID. So if I want to set a column to be primary key, so then we put primary key there. Then defaults, you can set a column to be default. So that means the column is going to be default. Default is that if you say default, so you need to put the value that I want you want that column to use as default. For example, now if it is total column, okay, maybe total amount column, so you can put default then to bracket 0. So that means 0 will be what default value for that particular column. So if you don't enter anything, so the default value will be there, 0. So foreign key, so we use a foreign key for another table that we want to combine with another one. Okay, so we use foreign key to reference a value in another table. Okay, so if you have a primary key in one table, so you can use foreign key to reference it in another table. Okay, so then if you want to set a column to be indexed, so you have to add index to that column. We use our index to identify, we use it to identify a row, so that if you want to retrieve that row, so you can use this column to retrieve that record. Okay, so these constraints, also known as integrity constraints, so they are now explaining, okay, not null. So value cannot be null in a column. So I've explained that. So it cannot be empty. So value cannot be the same, and the column. Primary key, uniquely identify foreign key, reference a row, another table. Check, satisfy specific condition, default, set default value. Create index to speed up the read process. So if I want to read a record, you want to retrieve the record, so you use index for it. So we have explained from join, where, group, having select order.
Okay, so that's the order to follow. If you want to use order, then you will first use no, it has to be with order.
Yes. Yes. No, for this join, okay, yes, this is the order. So when you have from there, you can join two tables. So you now use join. Okay, so when you join the two tables, then where, so you now use a where statement. So this is how, but here now, you may not have where, and you have group by. Do you get that? Then the same thing with order by. Okay, so you may not have where, you will have order by. then limit. So when you have order by, you have limit. Okay, so I've explained author and update. Okay, when I was explaining DDL and DML command. Okay, now we have select distinct. So for this one, let's explain select distinct. So we are going to stop at this select distinct for today. Okay, so we use select distinct to select a unique values. It look like grouping. Okay, so you can select a distinct column from a table. So that means it's going to pick if we have repeated values. Okay, so it will pick one out of the two. Okay, so by saying select distinct column, like the one we have here, we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 for password. So when you say select distinct password from user, so it's going to pick the unique one. So it will pick this 1, 2, 3. Okay, and exclude this, then XY feed. So we have this is going to be our result 1, 2, 3 XYZ. So this one will be omitted. Okay, because we use what distinct. Okay, this distinct password. Do you get that? So either you use select distinct or you use a group by to select to select records. So we achieve the same result. You get that? So you can use select distinct or you use a group by to achieve that. So then we have done this where, okay, we have done that. So we are going to start by next class. We start with and, using and or, okay, in select a query using not and all other command. Okay, we have done other by. So but we start from here by next class. Okay, so hopefully by Monday we finish SQL command. Okay, and move to another course, which is Microsoft Power BI. Okay, so thank you so much. Yeah. It's always by your side, inshallah.